Yeah, the prologue of the entire series, you read it and you're just like,
what?
It sounds like he's speaking Chinese. You have no idea any of it.
Yeah.
But literally, like, after each book, you read the first book, after you read the second book, and even after you finish the third book, you can go back and read it and be like, man, the prologue is just, there's so much in it.
Without further ado, what did you think about the series as a whole?
I am a huge fan of this trilogy. Like, I think I've mentioned that in every single review, but this is like, I know a lot of people are meh about it.
Oh, really?
I think so. Like, it's just I think there are some people who love it, but most of the consensus is it's all right.
Oh, really?
I'm sitting in the big fan of it category just because it's just hits so many good themes, a lot of like some good questions. Like, the world feels deep, but he also doesn't like fill with a ton of like fluff in terms of trying to make the world deep, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of books try to make their world feel deep, like Tolkien, but they end up just completely missing the point of the story, and
their world building like off to the side,
yeah,
which I think
they're wasting
in their
time.
defense, I don't know that you have to call it wasting time. They're just not in a rush.
Yeah, but I personally don't like that. It's like,
which is funny because it's not how you live your daily life.
Yeah, world building for the sake of world building is just annoying to me.
Did you like history class growing up?
I liked one of my history teachers because he basically he was actually dyslexic, so because of that, he didn't use PowerPoints, didn't write on the whiteboard, didn't use anything. He literally just stood up there and basically told stories. Like, it was basically story time with Mr. Christensen. Like, it was that hour, and it was American history. So he just like went through history, but instead of like reading the textbook, instead of going through slides, instead of going through curriculum or whatever, he literally just stood up there and like told stories. And he talked about everything. Like he knew everything so well that it sounded like he was telling his like old college stories, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
It's like about his friends and like what they used to do. It's like, oh, this person, like, he would love just like going out late at night. He just like would do stupid stuff. He did this, and this. Like, one time he did like, it seemed like that in history class. So, sorry, that's a really weird random tangent, but he was awesome.
I just wondered if that like correlated at all to your feelings on real world history, like our real world building.
Every other history class I had a hard time like getting or studying, or it was just very boring for me. But like, he made it, I probably learned the most of any history from him.
I feel like that's like kind of the same. Because you don't complain about world building if it's telling a good story. Yeah. If there's purpose behind it. But just world building for the sake of world building is what you're complaining about. I think it's the same. Just interesting observation. Yeah.
Any other history people out there that don't like history and don't like the world building stuff? Because I honestly don't think I would have like finished or like been able to get through the Lord of the Rings like without the movies. Like, if the movies had never come out, like, I don't know if I would have. Yeah, because it's just a lot of world building and background stuff. Yeah. But I pushed through it and loved it because I love the movies.
Interesting.
I don't know. Well, the world will never know.
The more we know about ourselves, I think.
I mean, we'll never know if that's the case.
Better books for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, back to this book.
So this book is just, I like it because it sticks to the story, and you can tell it's a very deep and historical world, but he doesn't get too much into it. Like, he gets into it a little bit because it.
You need to.
Yeah, because then you need to, and it's necessary for the story. So he does a very good job of that. And it almost makes you want to have more books in this world because you want to learn more about this world. And I personally think that's the way it should be. Like, you should earn that interest from people in terms of like Tolkien wrote The Hobbit.
Yep.
And it was a very short, and it got into some stuff, but you could tell that there's a lot more to this world. And guess what? People wanted more in this world. And guess what? He wrote Lord of the Rings. After that, people wanted more. So guess what? He wrote the Silmarillion, which is just like
history,
all the history that you could ever want. But he didn't put that information in The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. Like, I feel like a lot of authors will take basically the Silmarillion information because it's just like, that's what people love. They love that depth like Tolkien did, but they put it in the story of The Lord of the Rings, and you're just like, I don't need this information.
But you were just complaining that The Lord of the Rings did put too much information.
Oh, I guess a little bit, yeah.
I think you're confusing your argument. Back to The Light of All That Falls.
Yeah.
Or the Licanius Trilogy.
But yeah, anyways, he does a really good job of sticking to the story, and it makes you want to learn more about this world. But also, like, the themes of it is just very good. Like, a lot of, not good, because it's one of the themes is like racism and discrimination.
Oh yeah.
But that's not a good theme, but it's good in the sense of it makes you think about it in different ways, different perspectives, and it makes you think about those things. But yeah, the whole main theme basically wrestles with the thought of free will versus predestination. Like, is a sovereign God that's in control of everything and everything that happens. Is that essentially a prison? Are we all slaves to that if we don't choose our own future or make our own decisions? Is that what that means? It is basically arguing, like, if there's a God who knows everything that's going to happen and you can't change it, then do we really have free will? Is essentially what it's arguing, and it's a very it's a very deep thought, but it is very real, especially like in like the Christian worldview because that's a thing that's brought up in the Bible. It's like everything is preordained, everything is predestined by God. And if that's the case, then do we have free will? Do we really like you wrestle with that in real life, and that's what these trilogy is kind of wrestling with, is that kind of theme. And I loved it when it just like came up. I was like, man, this is really good in terms of making arguments for like what's just the thought process and wrestling with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's something people still to this day wrestle with all the time and argue with and about and debate, and I just think I loved it.
Yeah, I liked a lot about this book. I would definitely recommend other people to read it. I have recommended other people to read it. I bought it for my sister. But with the caveat, I think I benefited a lot from reading it with you.
Yeah.
So that we could talk about things and like wrestle through what was going on sometimes. I think that really helped me. And I think you have to commit to reading all of them. Yeah. Like, it's not a good book to read if you need something light and happy in your life. It's probably not the right choice. Or if you're like, wow, those books are really big, I could probably like read one and then take a break and then read the next. No, read all of them. Consider them one book.
Yeah.
Or you'll get lost.
If you absolutely hate it, you don't have to keep reading.
Well,
but if you're gonna, I think what she's saying, if you're gonna read them all, read them all. Like, you want to read them back to back,
right? Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like, it has some time travel in it, and so there's things that like from the third book or the second book that happened in the first book that you have no idea what's going on, but then the second and third book, it's explained what happened in the first book basically because they went back in time. It's hard to keep track if you just read this, go read other stuff, and then a few months later read the second, and then like
or like in our case right now, I read this many months ago. I probably finished it in October, and it's February.
Probably, yeah.
And so like even thinking back to what happened exactly.
Yeah, trying to tie things together.
Yeah, which is that is one of the things I had a lot of likes about this series. One of the things that I did not like as much was all of the time travel. I feel, but also thinking back to other books that have had time travel in it, time travel just like twists my mind. And that's why I think it's not a good thing in real life.
That's interesting because we're gonna do an episode of like what we want to read this year, and I kind of like I want to try an epic fantasy again, and like one of them would be either like The Way of Kings from Brandon Sanderson or The Wheel of Time, which The Wheel of Time is just like time travel.
Oh, so, I did not know that. I guess that makes sense.
That's what The Wheel of Time, like it's basically time travel.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure I don't know anything about The Wheel of Time other than like everyone loves it. It's a show on like Prime extra, and it's about time travel.
And it's super long, right?
Yeah, and it's super long. I heard about it too.
I feel like to commit to something like that, I would need to have one of those, you know, those boards that they have in like mystery, like murder mystery
I know what you're talking
series that have like all of the strings. Like I would everywhere. Legitimately need one of those.
You might, yeah.
Yeah, I needed that for this series. And this series, I mean, they were big books, but there were only 3 of them.
I think I saw like like Daniel Green. I think it was he's a big fantasy YouTuber, and I think he did a explaining all of the Wheel of Time video, and he basically had like a huge whiteboard and did everything. I think the video is like 6 hours long.
That is insane. I don't know if I have that series in me this year.
Well, I don't think the whole series. I was just like 1, maybe 2 books of it, just to like try it out, you know.
But I feel like if it's gonna be like one of those, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it would be similar to, I guess I have no idea anything about it other than that it's very long and that Sanderson finished it. But if it's anything like this, I would need to commit or I would get lost. I did have a friend who read it, and she was saying that she was having to Google characters' names.
Oh yeah.
Towards the end because she was like, I forgot who that person was.
Yeah, there's a lot of time travel and stuff. So it is good to read back to back to back.
Yeah, I really liked the characters. I thought that they were super relatable. Mm-hmm. You really feel for them. You feel for them. You feel with them. Yeah. You like the struggles that they encounter. You also struggle with. I think like the overarching themes of like what's right and what's wrong, and even like who is good and who is bad. I think a lot of those themes, I think you could even carry that. I think is one of the beauties of reading, right? Like you get to process a lot of things in parallel with the real world.
Yeah. And
so I think a lot of another overarching theme in this book was them wrestling with what is good, like. And I think that what was overarchingly commonly accepted as good did not end up being like it just wasn't as obvious as what you'd expect. And so, and I think that the same can apply like in our day-to-day lives, right? Especially like looking back in history, at one point in time, very cruel American slavery was like commonly accepted and the norm. And I think that you would have a lot of people arguing it was good. But like now having all the facts, I think everyone could, that I think the majority of people now would say that was not good. Right. Yeah. And so even with like what is our society facing today that is commonly accepted as good, that is not good, you know? So yeah, they're things that get you thinking. Oh, yeah. And that is one thing. Like if this book makes you think, if nothing else than to piece the story together, like your brain will definitely you'll be connecting pathways in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make you think, but I also really like how everything, I liked the time travel aspect of it because it leaves like so many like open ends, but by the end of the book, I thought the ending was so good in terms of like it connected all of those like puzzle pieces together, if that makes sense. So you're reading it, you have all of these blank opening things in both books, but then by the end of the third, he really does a good job of just filling in the whole puzzle, and you can see the whole thing, and you're just like, man, that's a good puzzle.
That's fair. Like the ending does feel more satisfying.
Oh yeah.
I think my like with that analogy, I lost a couple puzzle pieces along the way. That was my problem. I couldn't juggle them all.
That's true, because I had to explain, like, she was like, how is this even possible? Like, how did this even happen? And I had to explain to her, it's like, well, this, and this, because these things, like, this happened here, and he could do that.
And I was like, oh, wow, my mind is blown. And that is why I think you should read this with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or even commit to reading it twice. I think that I would benefit from I think I would. This would be a series that I would enjoy reading again.
That's another thing I was going to say is like, it's very enjoyable to read a second time because of those like gaps you have the first time.
How many times have you read this?
I've read this twice.
Okay.
So this was the second time I've read it. But because you get like, you have all those gaps reading it and then everything's filled in at the end, you can go back and see, like, the end story. Yeah. And so you can see the things developing and why things are certain ways in the first, second, and even the beginning of the third book.
I remember you saying like the prologue. The prologue.
Oh, the prologue to the whole series. Like,
yeah, David kept referencing that. He's like, with every book that you read, you can go back to the prologue of the first book and understand more. Yeah.
Yeah. The prologue of the entire series, you read it and you're just like,
what?
It sounds like he's speaking Chinese. Like, you have no idea any of it.
Yeah.
But literally, like, after each book, you read the first book, after you read the second book, and even after you finish the third book, you can go back and read it and be like, man, the prologue is just, there's so much in it, and it's so good.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of this book.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So I have my overall series rating.
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Oh, I can't.
Is this off the cuff?
No,
off the cuff?
this. I thought about it, but I didn't write it. I didn't like process it on the page, so I don't have it written down. So
we have no proof that this isn't off the cuff.
No, so I guess yeah.
I gave it a 4 overall.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, really?
I was going to do a 4 as well.
I have some reasoning this time. I thought that you'd be really proud of me about that.
Yeah.
I would want to read it again. I would recommend it to other people. Obviously, it's not something that I think back on a ton, so it's like I'm not giving it a 5. But yeah, I would not be sad to read this again. Would definitely be happy and willing to.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's my reasoning, because I would... Like, I did go back and read it again. I wanted you to read it, and then you started reading it, and I was just like, I literally dropped I was reading Red Rising, if that tells you anything. Yeah. I was in the middle of reading Dark Age. I had just started. I was 2 or 3 chapters in.
What time read through was that?
That was the second time for the second trilogy. Okay. Or the second 3.
But it wasn't the first time.
But it wasn't the first time I read it, yeah. I was like 2 or 3 chapters in Dark Age, and you were like... And then you decided to read Licanius, and I was like, oh, I'm doing that. And so I just stopped reading Dark Age and went to The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's a very easy like reread, and like I would recommend it to a lot of people. And in my eyes, it's a buy for me. Like, I would easily like buy the physical ones to have it on my bookshelf. Just, I liked it that much. Because like I have Red Rising, the physical copies of them. We're not big.
He keeps saying that, but like we don't have a ton of space in our house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like we don't have, like, a lot of people are like, they want to read a book, they buy it.
Yeah, that's like their book trophy.
Yeah, ours is, we don't have that luxury. Like, this little small bookshelf is like all the bookshelf space we have in our house. So it's either
sharing
like,
it with our children.
And yeah, as you can see, the bottom shelf is like full of kids' books. But we usually like rent it from the library, check it out, or like read it on Kindle if we can't get it like on the library or anything. And so the physical books are reserved for like stuff we really like, or I know I'm gonna read over and over again. And that, I think this series would be one for the bookshelf. So I think it's a safe buy, but like just knowing that like some people don't like the series for like, and I can kind of see why, because the first book is really good.
I would have struggled with liking it if I hadn't had you to talk things through with.
Like the first one is really good in terms of like, I think a lot of people would like the first one. The second one, I think a lot of people lose.
Yeah, I think I could see a lot of people being lost by the second one. There's just it's hard to keep track of. That's where it really gets hard to keep track of. Yeah, that's when
it gets hard to keep track of. It's like, it shares a lot of the history of the world to kind of explain where they're going for the third.
Yeah.
It's more of like a setup for the third book than it is
its own story.
So it's a little hard to get through. But the ending is just, such a good ending. It is
wonderful.
It is a wonderful ending. And it leaves a lot of like, it still leaves a lot of open ends in terms of like, continuing on in this world. Like the trilogy is complete, like it's done. The whole conflict is resolved, but there are other things that are left open-ended to where James Islington can come back and write not just like side stories within that trilogy, but make another trilogy in this world, like post
for sure
conflict. So yeah, did we have any other thoughts on the trilogy as a whole?
Nah, I think we had all the big things.
I think it is worth trying.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, I've already listed my caveats for trying it. I think that you'll like it best with a buddy and acknowledging that you need to commit to it.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it. So.
Yeah, now it's a